In this video, we're going to go through the Metacritic reviews for Ghost of Yotei, which launches on October 2nd, 2025. And the critics seem to like it, more or less. So about this, it seems to be better reviewed than in the first edition, Ghost of Tsushima, which about this time had a Metacritic score of 84. The overall Metacritic ranking is 87. We're going to go through a interesting twist pointed out by Game Rant, one of the outlets that liked it the most and gave it a perfect rating of 100, or a 10 out of 10. So they wrote here that Ghost of Yotei's story isn't perfect, but it's still mostly great and interesting of how the side content is expertly woven in an overarching narrative. While exploring Ghost of Yotei's open world, I happened to come across an optional enemy camp. Players can take the stealthy approach and kill every enemy one by one and take over the camps, but they can also go in swords blazing if they'd rather. Regardless, taking the camp triggered a scene with Saito, so that I guess Saito is the big bad of the Yotei Six, so he's going to be the last of the Yotei Six, I guess you take out. Commented on Atsu's efforts and the impact they were having. As more members of the Yotei Six are knocked off the board, Saito's men become more dangerous, and they take Atsu more seriously, which means traps and more heavily armed enemies in the open world. This helps make almost everything feel tied to fight against the Yotei Six and makes the side content more compelling than it would be. To me, though, when I'm just trying to kind of crush the game, this tells me that you really want to go for the side content first, and I think that came out in Nate Fox's interview recently, that life's going to get a lot harder for you if you just go after Ghost of Yotei right away. That if you go after the Yotei 6, or if you take out the camps right away. So you might not want to focus, if you can get away with it, you might not want to focus your efforts on taking out the camps or attacking the Yotei 6, but instead focusing on the side content that'll make your character more valuable, unlock more weapons, possibly increase your health, that type of thing, do the shrines, do the bamboo strikes, do the fox dens, etc. And also maybe do the side quests before you really go after the bases, because once you start going after the bases, the men that you face in them are going to get harder, and the men you face in the open world, that is the Yotei 6's henchmen, are going to get harder. And so if you are too eager to go after the Yotei 6, the game's going to level up faster than you are. And so I think that's kind of a key insight that I'd not heard anywhere else. And it's an interesting thing. So if you think about Ghost of Tsushima, it had an act structure, and you had to go from map area to map area, and one map area is tougher than another map area, right? Witcher 3 was the same way. There are easy map areas, White Orchard. There are harder map areas, Velen, Novigrad. Skellige is harder than Novigrad. If you go into the expansions like Blood and Wine, that's going to have harder enemies. So the traditional open world thing is to have harder enemies in different map regions. But what Ghost of Yotei is doing is they're saying the difficulty is not in the map region. Assassin's Creed Valhalla was also, the map regions became harder. But it's in how you progress the story. So if you've not progressed the main quest very far, the map regions will not be harder. So the map regions will be easy until you start your vengeance quest. So you would be behooved to start the vengeance quest as late as possible and do as much side content as possible. Now, that may not be a revolutionary insight that doing the side content's going to help you level up in an open world game. But the idea that going after a particular base or something, or a particular foes, will cause the whole game to get harder, I don't recall a game like that. That it was usually area locked instead of progression locked. Now, the progression locks typically lock the areas, so they all are both together. But in Ghost of Yotei, they're not progression locked, right? Or the areas are not progression locked. The areas are open, and I think that's what's happening here, is that it's the progression in the difficulty of the foes is going up as you kill more foes, which is really ironic, right? So the traditional method of grinding a game is to, you go do all the stuff in the easy area, then you do all the stuff in the next easiest area, etc. But you don't want to do that in Ghost of Yotei because there is no easy area. It's easy until you take over so many bases. It's easy until you defeat one of the Yotei Six, and then it goes up a level, and if you're not leveled up, you're going to struggle once you get that much farther in the revenge quest. Subscribe to the Linus Wilson channel. We give you the secrets to crush Ghost of Yotei.